Welcome everybody to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I'm your host, Xavier, and today I have the pleasure once again to be joined by our general Popcorn Watchlist panel, starting with old friend of mine, Anthony.
Hello.
We have my data guy, Danny.
What's up?
And the young kid, Zach.
Hi.
Yeah.
I should do something clever, but no.
Spaced out, and he's just like, no, hi. Yeah, it's just typical young kid fashion, spaced out looking at the stars. No, I'm kidding.
Hello there.
So once again, we are the Popcorn Watchlist, and today we actually have a really fun episode. We're going to go over some of our favorite movies that we saw over the summer of 2023 that haven't been given their entire episode that was given to them. So, you know, we talked about our Barbies, our Oppenheimers, our, you know, like Indiana Jones, our Spider-Mans, Gran Turismos, all the big summer tentpole movies. We have our own episode, so if you haven't listened to those, be cool and go and re-listen to those, and, you know, get to see some of our fun discussions there. But this week, we're going to talk about all the other movies that we saw in the middle of those, that some were great, some were not so great, but safe to say we got our A-list. We got the mileage out of A-list these last 3 months for sure. And it's exciting because all of us collectively got to see quite a few different movies, whether if it's on movie theatrical releases or streaming releases. We kind of going to give a rundown through our sort of summer popcorn watch list of 2023 and give you guys the quick rundown of should you watch it or should you save the popcorn for another time. With that, I kind of throw it out immediately over to Danny, because Danny got to see a wide variety of fun stuff, a good kind of range of different films, everything from action to horror to romance to comedy. You know, you got to see a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, well, before we go over my list, we'll do the two movies we all saw together.
It was just two, weirdly enough.
Other than the ones that we reviewed. So the two that we all saw together was Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Nice. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right.
That is correct. You know, two really fun ones based off of really, you know,
big franchises.
Yeah, I was going to say
Paramount?
Both Paramount. Yeah.
Kid franchises with big
cartoons.
Cartoons and toys.
I was going to say, yeah, like toy IPs and, but like, I was going to say old IPs, but then I was like, no, I can't say that because my back's going to hurt immediately. Zach's going to look at us funny, like, dude, what the hell's wrong with you guys? What the hell is a Beast War? Like,
or if you were from Canada, Beasties.
They can't say wars in Canada.
That was called Beasties in Canada.
But yeah, let's go first with, you know, chronologically, it was Rise of the Beasts that came out in June, I think late June. And I think we were pleasantly surprised by that movie overall, right? Like, I want to say, like, the general consensus, we were like, hey, this was more enjoyable than I thought.
It's definitely better than maybe, like, the last night. The last night, yeah. And the fourth one.
Age of Extinction.
Whatever the fourth one was.
Age of Extinction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was enjoyable, but I still think of these two more recent ones, Bumblebee has been the far better.
For sure. Yeah. Bumblebee was definitely one
really
of the
good.
top ones. And the first one.
This was, at first, I don't know why, you know, I thought this was to be a sequel to Bumblebee, but I guess not.
It
technically,
is.
Kind of.
But like a direct sequel. I thought it was
like a spin-off sequel.
It's like a side sequel.
Spickle? No, I don't know how that is. I don't know what that is.
Like, all they need to do was have Haley Steinfeld in it, and then it would have been a sequel.
Or you could
just
have had
reference.
John Cena.
But it took place like
That.
like a whole decade or so later, right?
And you couldn't see him.
Right, the 90s.
John Cena. But they decided to go with a different route in terms of connectivity, since Paramount has this whole Hasbro thing. Major spoiler alert, by the way. They tie it in straight up to freaking G.I. Joe.
I was not expecting that.
No one in this theater expected that.
I was expecting for them to talk about Sector 7. That's what I thought it was, Sector 7, to give us a hint to like the Michael Bay ones.
Yeah.
And then they dropped that G.I. Joe. I was like, oh, come on.
Nice.
Well, their previous G.I. Joe movie didn't do so well with Snake Eyes. I think that one just
Poor
bombed
Henry
completely.
Golding. But no, the big
I hated those trailers, man.
Yeah.
the winner of
I'm on
that
a new level.
the real like shining star of that Snake Eyes movie, as a random aside, is
Andrew Koji.
Andrew Koji playing freaking Storm Shadow. Anyway, Andrew Koji is awesome in Warrior. I've said it over the course of like last 2 years. Go watch Warrior on Max. It's really great. But yeah, I remember I was in the theater like getting hyped as all get out when they mentioned G.I. Joe.
Yeah, you
I was just
were
like,
right.
oh my god, this is so cool. And like people were just
There
like,
were a few people they were like, what?
yeah.
What? Like, whoa.
So random.
What?
And it's
Yeah.
also because it's the same company that makes the Transformers toys, so
Yeah,
it's like
bro.
some
It
form of
makes
synergy
sense.
there. Yeah. So
It made weirdly enough it made sense, and the stories that the director was like, I want to do this, and Paramount's like, yeah, you know what, why not?
They're both
Sell
kind
more
of failing,
toys,
so let's
man.
put it together.
Yeah.
yeah, man.
but-
The possibility to sell more toys.
But
Why not?
apparently, yeah, but sold more toys. But apparently, like Rise of the Beast, like did like what they
Okay,
expected.
yeah.
Like it did well enough to be like, all right, cool, we may want to do some stuff with it.
I'd say like if you are a fan of Transformers, definitely go watch it. It's definitely better than
Optimus
some of
Prime
the-
does some badass stuff because he's Optimus Prime. Peter Cullen is Optimus Prime.
Pete
is-
Davidson was even
He was
not,
fun.
not that
Yeah,
bad too.
He was fun.
It was
As
funny.
Mirage.
Yeah, he was actually really fun. Anthony Ramos, I think he shows that he can kind of, hopefully prop up a franchise. The boy deserves it. Anthony Ramos is really good. Go watch In the Heights if you have any any
Hamilton.
doubts. Or Hamilton, exactly right. It's really good. Yeah, it was fun. Like it does its job, but the thing is, Optimus Prime. Like it's just anything you put Optimus Prime in anything, it automatically elevates it. It's like the ludicrous of Transformers.
Primal was cool too.
Optimus Prime was cool as Ron Perlman. Like, he probably went to a sound booth, did his job, but, it's dope. Like, they also tied into the whole, like, hey, we're the Maximals, we might be from the future, but maybe not. Like, whatever. I'm not going to get too crazy into the lore of Transformers, because
Wait,
that's not
is
us.
Optimus Primal a prime?
Yes.
Yes, but
Is
from
he
the
take-
future.
Okay, you're a prime
Yeah.
from the future.
He's
okay.
Prime from the future, but because something happens, he goes back in time to, like, a prehistoric Earth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's weird. Don't worry about it.
Go watch Beast Wars.
Go watch Beast Wars. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely better than The Last Night. That movie is terrible.
I always reference this, and I try not to remember it, but
It's
I
really
remember
bad.
watching Last Night with Anthony, and the last like 20 minutes, I was like, the hell did we just watch? Like, Optimus Prime, like, was all over the place. I was like, I don't know what's happening, and I'm confused. And then Unicron, I was like, oh, but I don't know. It was just the
Mark
weirdest thing.
Wahlberg's fighting the robots.
Like, he's actually, like, I don't know, like,
Like fighting, like
yeah,
Yeah.
'cause I don't remember the movie that well, but like fist fighting,
kind of.
Sword fighting.
Sword fighting.
oh.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Anthony Hopkins is doing God knows what. Like, he's just like, hey, you pay me money, I'm gonna say whatever I need to.
Yep. Collecting the paycheck.
Collecting the paycheck. He's doing what I call the I don't know what's up with the Transformers movies and really well established actors collecting the paycheck. What's this guy who did Megatron in the beginning? Before Frank
Oh, Hugo Weaving?
Hugo Weaving just is like, yeah, this is the paycheck, buddy. I need to buy a house.
Leonard Nimoy wasn't one of them.
Leonard
Oh yeah,
Nimoy
he was from in the third movie.
Yeah.
he was,
Francis McDormand
He was
wasn't
Nemesis
one of them.
Prime. Yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
forgot about Frances McDormand just being there and just like, hey,
who did he voice?
who did she voice?
Or she? Sorry.
No,
I don't-
she was one of the military people in I don't even remember which movie.
2?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
And
just
then,
know she was in it.
meanwhile, John Turturro has like the most recurring role out of all of them, which is like the weirdest thing to say.
Do you think they're gonna forget about Snake Eyes and bring The Rock back from G.I. Joe 2 Retaliation?
Nah.
Yes.
And then have him be like the head of G.I. Joe?
Yes, and then he's gonna say, "Who wants a body massage?" Because that's the same character.
That would be amazing.
Go.
If that happens, I will leave the movie, buy another ticket, even though I have A-list, and then go
come
watch
back.
it again. Yeah.
I will give the theater more money. Like, hey, here's $20. Buy another ticket for this. Like, if you ever, just as a side note, go watch all of the old. It's on YouTube. Fensler films, GI Joe, PSAs. They are the greatest thing you've ever seen. Like, watch the original PSAs and then watch those, and you will have a grand old time. It's too good. Yeah. So Paramount surprisingly kicking out a lot of content this year. Pretty good stuff.
But next we got TMNT, which that was a great one.
Very surprising.
Great
TMNT
animation.
was such a delight. And I have to say this because the elephant in the room from last week's episode, they gave Zach the best reference ever. Because how does Donatello learn how to drive?
By playing Forza.
Legit Forza. Why? Because an Xbox is easier to pirate in the sewers. Get wrecked. I'm kidding. No, Danny mentioned it about the art style. Like it was really cool and unique.
And it was cool because it was different from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and that one killed it also this summer. But just two different animation styles, two great stories. Like animation killed it.
Yeah, it's like both of those movies, and we'll talk specifically about TMNT. You can tell it was done with love to the source material, like intimate understanding of like, hey, like this is what makes these kids who are also like mutant turtles like their own unique thing. Like they all have different personalities, but they never felt really forced. Like they all felt natural. Like Raph being the always the always willing to fight rambunctious one, like. But they made it in a way that was a little more like youthful.
Because he wasn't just like angry the whole time.
Yeah, like he was just like, yeah, I'm gonna beat people up because it looks like it's fun or I'm good at it. Like, and then Donatello, like when they're in the high school and they have like someone's locker is like sprayed Attack on Titan, he's like, I don't even know who this person is, and they get me. Like I was like, hey, that's so cool. Mikey's like out here like legitimately trying out jokes and like trying to be funny. Like it's not just like, oh, I'm funny because I'm funny. It's like, hey, like I saw funny stuff, I want to emulate that. And then Leo being the like the sort of like, hey, I'm gonna be the main leader because Dad Splinter told me to do so. Like you can tell like he's still like working through some of that, like the responsibility, but also like, hey, I want to be a kid too. It was balanced really well.
Yeah.
And like their arc was really mirrored by like Superfly's arc of the whole like, hey, we're built this way, but like we're just gonna like because of our various life experiences.
Ways about it.
Yeah, and Ice Cube was awesome. Like the
whole cast was
they let
awesome.
Ice Cube have fun.
Ice Cube was really good.
Yeah, they let Ice Cube have a whole lot of fun. Like just like like what? Like and
you had Paul Rudd,
Mondo Gecko.
Post Malone.
Oh my god! As a Ray Fillet, like they kept they didn't shy away from the puns of the characters. Like Rose Byrne was Leatherhead, and they made Leatherhead a girl. Like it was who else? Like the whole it was like it honestly delivered on the whole mutant mayhem aspect of it. Like Bebop Rocksteady showed up, and hell, there's even like a whole reference like to the whole the fact that like Cynthia Ultron, she looked like Krang. Like you guys don't know what Krang is, but like the glasses, her like yellow suit, I was like, yo, she's Krang. Like it was a really
happen.
Yeah, it's gotta happen. Like it was a really great like way to like kind of tie in the lore but make it in its own unique spin. Also,
that was Maya Rudolph.
Maya Rudolph.
I didn't know until like I read it.
Yeah, she has a funny accent. And I thought like it was just stunt casting to have Jackie Chan as Splinter. Oh no, it was legitimately like he delivered his lines really great. Like
had some cool scenes too.
Mm-hmm.
How funny was it when they're like when Leo's like, oh sorry.
What are they doing? I'm getting milk.
What are they doing to you? Doing nothing. Why does that machine say milk machine? I don't know what that is. I told you they milk you. And the funny part is like when Leo like kind of spills the beans that they went out to watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off, yeah. And he's like, I'm sorry we stayed out. He's like, oh, why'd you rat us out, Leo? And then Splinter's like, hey, we don't use that. We don't use that way in this house. Or like his origin story, he's like, I had a friend named like Kevin, and he got stepped on. He's like, and then I ate him. I was like, holy crap! Like he still remembers like his pre-mutant life as a rat. Like everybody was like, everybody was able to like
Seth Rogen, John Cena.
Yeah, John Cena was Rocksteady. Seth Rogen's Bebop.
Who was also the producer, right?
Yeah, he's one of the producers of the film. He's also one of the writers, too.
Writers, yes.
Again, like Seth Rogen's like, no, I want to make a Ninja Turtle movie.
I think it was great for both like fans of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and maybe those who weren't really too big on it growing up or anything like that.
That was
like,
my first TMNT anything that I
yeah.
ever seen.
So like, and you liked
it
it
a lot.
Yeah, you liked
so
it a lot.
like, it was a good bridge for both generations.
And fans of the Bear. You
Ayo.
have Ayo Edeberry.
Yeah.
Dude, she's been like everything the past year.
Yeah, good for her. 'Cause she's good,
she's great.
dude.
It's awesome.
She's great. Yeah, like she was April, and like all her lines were just
Hilarious.
perfect. Like when the turtles go into that like chop shop and beat up all the thugs, and they get her bike back or her scooter back, and they're like, "Oh guys, we gotta hide." And she's like, "I can see you there." Oh no, she saw us. It's like, oh no, it's like, hey, you guys talking about it? It's kind of sus. Like, oh no, she said we're sus. Like that's so bad.
It's like I can hear you whispering.
It's like, oh no, this is so bad. Like they were. It was like
Like the comedy in this one
The
worked.
But it was-
delivery and
the delivery is hella natural, right? Like it was great, and at the same time,
like the awkwardness
Very-
of it too.
Like modern way of how teenagers would probably talk
Yeah.
nowadays.
and when
Yeah,
Leo's
they-
like,
they
yeah, I got
emphasize
Riz, and he's like,
the
dude,
teenage,
you have no Riz. like all the Gen Z humor landed, like, and someone who's like obviously like a millennial is like getting the Gen Z humor, like, oh, this works. Like I get it.
Yeah.
Like it made it relatable. It was just really in tune and in touch, like with of its time, but also like being able to tell like a coming of age story. It was really good. I was pleasantly surprised, and I think whoever's at Paramount was really surprised too, because they already ordered like another movie and like a whole series on Paramount. So like if you want more of it, like check it out. It's originally like a Nickelodeon property, so you might be able to see the old stuff. And I always plug the show on Netflix every once in a while on this, but if you haven't, you should watch The Toys That Made Us. The TMNT episode is legitimately good. It has a lot of information, a great backstory, and it gives you some good insight as to like how much of a crazy phenomenon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle was. They don't even talk about even the video games. Like Anthony and I like grew up playing the video games, and those games were hella good. Like if you talk about Turtles in Time,
Really hard. Or the NES ones were really hard.
the NES one is notoriously difficult, but then on Super Nintendo you play Turtles in Time. That was like the hey, let's all hang out and let's play Ninja Turtles, and it's just
Or the random tournament fighting game.
no, that game's broken. That game is broken as all get out. Don't even get
It's all-
started. Raphael being just anyway. If it, as a side note, anyone ever tells me like it says the time 3 a.m. What do I think of, Anthony?
Big Apple.
3 a.m. Like that's the first level of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time, which has Baxter Stockman, which is referenced in this movie. Which they made, insteed of being Baxter Stockman as a fly person, they made Superfly as like a mutant fly.
Which was Gus.
That was Gus Fring.
Breaking Bad.
Zach doesn't know what that is.
Oh my god.
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon.
Well, yeah. of
Yeah,
course.
Moff Gideon from Mandalorian. There you go.
You could have just said the actor's name.
Giancarlo Esposito. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But if we say Gus Fring, you're like,
I think
"Who's
most
Gus
people would know
Fring?
him as Gus Fring
Who's
over his actual name.
Yeah, but who is Gus Fring? Yeah, anyway, the movie's awesome. I think at this point in time right now, by the time that this recording and this episode goes live, Mutant Mayhem is on Paramount Plus.
Oh, nice.
So if you're there,
have
Mutant Mayhem, go and watch it. It's really cool, especially if you have a nice fancy TV, because the art style, it's like, it's like a stylized, but like if someone hand drew something and they elevated it to like a high quality 3D animation, like it was done really, really well. That and Andy Samberg's random voices, which is really funny because Seth Rogen had to do it. Yeah, dude, it was really, really cool. I like the movie a lot.
Same here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a shame that both of these movies, and I guess pretty much all the movies that we're going to talk about today, that they were just jam-packed in between or right after some other really big movies that came out. So maybe not many people watched them, or they just didn't make that much money, and so they may not get sequels. I mean, I'm pretty sure TMNT is getting a sequel.
Oh, it's getting a lot. It's got a TV
but-
show and a sequel.
Transformers is like a maybe. I don't think they've officially said they're gonna make another one, but yeah, it's we shall see.
It is a we shall see for sure. Yeah, that's but we're one of these, the big like promoters of it. Like, hey, like if you like this kind of stuff, like just like fun action, but like kind of semi nostalgia, but like done well with reverence. Yeah, give those two a watch for sure.
Mhm.
It's really good.
Aside from those movies, there's a couple other ones that I watched. I know some of them. I think some of you guys may have seen, maybe Danny, but others, I think like I saw Joyride. I don't think any of you saw that.
I wanted to. That's the one where they go to China.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on. I believe it's on. It might be on a streaming service now. I'm not sure, but it's definitely on digital. You can rent it now. Yeah, very underrated.
Renting on Prime.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I remember hearing some people online saying it was really good, probably because there hasn't been that many rated R raunchy comedies in a while. But yeah, it's good to see a couple raunchy comedies come out this year alone. Like the past couple of years, it's almost been non-existent. Like people are afraid to make comedies just because they don't want to be offensive or anything like that.
I want to interject. I did not know that Ashley Park from Emily in Paris is in that movie.
I haven't seen Emily in Paris.
I have tangent like off the side because my sister was watching it, and I was just like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And I was like, "Oh, these people are like, kind of the worst, but also hilarious at the same time. Not as bad as like the cast of Sunny, but like they're still kind of like, oh, we're here doing our marketing stuff in Paris, but also we're getting in our own drama, whatever." But it was like I forget, like Stephanie Sue is in it. Also Ashley Park. Ashley Park plays what's her name in Emily in Paris? She's the singer girl. Mindy. Yeah, she's Mindy in Emily in Paris. Which is on Netflix. But anyway, yeah, if you want to still watch it, I think currently you can rent it on Prime for like $6.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, it has really funny moments. I wouldn't say it's very funny. It's pretty funny, but the moments that are funny, they're really funny. So I would give it maybe like a 6. I would recommend it if you just want to give it a chance, have a good laugh at a raunchy comedy that, again, hasn't been out in a few years. And I would kind of say the same thing with another comedy that came out around the same time, which is with Jennifer Lawrence. I believe Danny saw this as well, which was No Hard Feelings.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. They were both a little similar. I would say No Hard Feelings is more of a dramedy, where it's very much like kind of like the second half of the movie is more dramatic than funny, but the first half is definitely a good time. It's pretty funny, and to see her in that type of role is pretty cool because it's a lot different than what she normally does. But
prestige dramas.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was funny. I think I would recommend that one as well. I'm not sure if that one is streaming anywhere yet, but I'm sure you could rent it. Redbox, digital, or if you still go to a physical Redbox place and rent there, or if you
also
want,
Prime for $6.
Yeah, if you want to rent it digitally,
it's Prime for $6.
There you go.
Yeah, Prime.
Did you like it, Danny? Did you like No Hard Feelings?
I did. It was pretty funny. I get what you're saying with the whole like dramedy, because like towards the end it gets more.
It was like the last like 40 minutes of the movie. I was like, man, it was like almost half the movie.
Like it gets serious.
Yeah.
Tonal whiplash.
Yeah, but Jennifer Lawrence
she was
best
great.
part of the
She was great in the movie. Joyride had serious moments too, but it was more like really at the end, kind of like the Apatow formula, where it's really funny, and then something happens
hit you with the emotion
near the third act of the movie, and then they have to somehow get together, and then everything's nice at the end. But yeah, go support raunchy comedies so we get more of them. The thing is, both of these movies also, like I said earlier, they came out around the time of bigger movies that people were watching, and I don't think anybody watched Joyride. Not that many. Some people watched No Hard Feelings, but those movies probably could have done better releasing them now in September or in August even. So it's just like...
And then also this type of movie before used to do very well with like DVD sales and like post like purchase after it comes out, and that's where it makes bulk of its money. But now
exactly.
it's kind of not the same.
They're not, even the budgets on these movies aren't big at all.
Yeah.
What, it's like a max a $10 million movie. And then easily, if you could probably make maybe 30 opening weekend, and you're probably already making your money back on it. So yeah, I think they should release more. So
Just do a better timing and don't put it in the middle of Barbie and Oppenheimer.
don't put it in a super stacked summer with holdovers from
It's like
COVID.
mid-July, you may want to, push that back to late August, just in case.
I also watched, for like more Disney fare, I ended up watching Elemental and Little Mermaid.
Both are now on Disney Plus.
Nice.
Yeah, so The Little Mermaid, I saw, like, I got home one day and I saw family watching it. I was like, oh, this is fun and entertaining. Like, I could, like, from the musical standpoint, like, oh, like, yeah, like, the talent they got for those movies,
She has an
they
amazing
can sing.
voice.
Yeah.
She has an amazing voice.
Elemental is on my watch list because, it was one of those, an interesting phenomenon with Elemental where, like, at first it's like, the movie's not making money. And then, like it's
now
somehow
it's
just
covered everything.
yeah, but then it like recovered it. It grew legs and just like, hey, you know what? We made money.
That's a good movie.
I think during the Barbenheimer phenomenon, I think all the younger people that wouldn't be watching those movies, I think went to watch, the only other movie that's like a family movie, and it was there, and it had legs, and somehow I think it's made
It's
over 400 million.
Yeah, it's made its money back.
Which one?
Elemental.
Elemental.
It had an opening weekend of like 20 million.
20 million.
Which
And
is
you're like, it's a
crazy
Pixar
for a
movie. What's
Pixar
going
movie.
on? And it was scary because Peter Sohn, like, he's worked with Pixar for so long, and you're like, oh no, like his debut is not doing so hot. But then, like, it like was big in South Korea and like in other markets, and then like over time it's like, hey, you know what? Yeah, all these people watching Oppenheimer and this stuff, like, no, like let's watch something more family fare.
But the other markets did help.
Yeah, the other markets helped, but then it like got more money in the States too.
Yeah.
Very surprising, but like
Good for the Pixar team because
Yeah.
they needed
They
a
some
win.
form of a win, yeah, because what was it? Lightyear that came out last year didn't do so hot.
the misfire of Turning Red not being in theaters also hurt them. Like I still to this day, I've said it many times, like if Turning Red had hit theaters, it would have one, conditioned people to say, hey, we should go to the theater to watch Turning Red. Two, with the stylized art style that the movie had at certain points, I think it would have really translated well on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
And thirdly, it would have then and it's then when Lightyear shows, like, oh cool, like I'm gonna go and watch Pixar film instead of just like, oh, I'm supposed to wait for it on Disney Plus.
And Luca also kind of suffered the same fate.
Yeah, Luca
right?
was still in that window, the COVID window, where they were just putting everything of Pixar on.
Yeah,
It only
Luca
came
and
out a
Soul.
few months after after Turning Red,
Mm-hmm.
so it was like maybe summer or just before
No,
summer.
Luca came out before Turning Red.
Yeah.
Oh, it did.
came out
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought
It was. I
That
think
was the
Red came
movie
out
that came out before.
It was
Turning
Luca.
Red.
Really? Okay.
Was it Luca, Soul, and then Turning Red, or was it Soul and Turning?
Soul came out before Luca.
Soul and then
Luca.
Luca, right?
Uh-huh.
And then Turning Red.
Oh, okay, that's right. Because Turning Red was like this was
Because
like
it all started with Onward. Onward was the
Yes.
first one because
Well,
Onward came out
It was
right
in theaters.
during COVID.
It was
right
in
when
theaters because I saw it in
COVID
theaters.
shut down theaters.
And then a week later was when they shifted everything.
Exactly. And then after that, they're just like, let's put everything on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Even Raya was like a half.
But Ryan had to pay.
No, but Raya and the Last Dragon, it was half like in theaters and half you had to pay like that $20 or $30. I think it was
Like the
$30.
live action
and-
Mulan and Jungle Cruise. Yes, I
And,
remember that.
And I waited
And Black Widow.
until
And
it was
Black
free.
Widow.
Exactly.
Yeah. Luca came out on June 18th of 2021.
Yeah.
And because Soul
Okay, so
came
that's
out at
what
the
it
end of
was.
2020.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was Soul and then Luca.
So
Yeah,
and then
that was
Turning
like
Red was
Christmas, right?
when?
Yeah, it was Christmas
Turning
2020.
Red was-
2022.
Wow, it was 2022.
Yeah, it
Damn,
was
I have
last year.
my
Yeah, it was
years
February
mixed. Wow.
2022.
And then, I mean, this one also had an opening short before the movie with
Yeah.
Doug from
Yes.
Up.
Yeah,
yes,
it was-
Doug
it was
from
cute.
Up, the dog. Yes.
That was a good one.
But yeah, Elemental is actually good. You guys should watch it. If you like Pixar movies, this is one of the. I wouldn't say like the top tier. I mean, there's a
It's
lot
a
of top tier,
solid-
ones, but it's a very
it's a
solid, just below the top tier.
like
I would
like
say.
Cars 1 kind of thing.
Sure, Cars surprisingly is the only series I have not seen of Pixar.
You never
Really?
seen any Cars?
Not one, two, or three. No.
Ka-chow.
Yeah.
Well, because
I
Cars
don't know why.
1 is a solid movie, and then you have 2.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
No, okay. So the real answer is
I would just say it's probably where
in the
Cars is
middle.
at. Cars 1.
yeah. So like Cars 1, yeah, it's solid. It's really
Yeah.
cool. Cars 2. It's a
drama.
flaming dumpster fire,
And Cars
and then
3 is like,
Cars 3 is like, oh, okay, like
They kind of redeemed themselves a little
yeah,
bit.
but like it also brings
still
in a whole
fun.
like an existential kind of thing too, of just like like McQueen's like, damn, like I don't think I can do this anymore, but maybe I can teach someone else, and so that was really cool. Anyway, yeah, I would say hopefully it's.
I would recommend
I expect it around Cars.
I think it's on Disney Plus now, or
Yeah,
maybe next
both.
week.
It is now on
Okay,
Disney
well,
Plus.
and Little Mermaid. I liked Little Mermaid. It wasn't amazing, but it was it was good enough. Not sure if they needed to make that remake, but it was still good. It was pretty good.
they
The
did a
cartoon
lot
was
of
better. I like the
live
cartoon better.
action.
The best live action remake,
Jungle
I will say right now,
Book.
no, is Aladdin.
Aladdin was
Aladdin-
pretty good.
Aladdin was good.
Aladdin, Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast.
Cinderella's pretty good. Kenneth Branagh did that movie.
Yeah, but the
Really?
thing is,
Yeah.
as good as that is, like, the thing
Did
is,
you see
Beauty-
it?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Beauty and the Beast, Dan Stevens is too good. Dan Stevens is too good.
Yeah, but Emma Watson wasn't that good in that movie.
She's better than you. I don't know. I think
No.
it's better than you expected.
But then another Disney movie that you saw
Ooh,
that came out this year as a re-release.
It's like one of the best soundtracks in any Disney movie.
One of the what?
Well, you have the rest of
It might
the
be.
Pirates
It might be my. It might be my favorite.
Spoiler, the rest of the franchise.
But yeah, it was the 20th anniversary of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Hold on. My back hurts. Hold on.
You heard the crackling.
20 years.
Oh, jeez. There we go. Got it.
Anthony and
got
I made
You
it a
both went
point
to go see it,
to
right?
go
Yeah, it
watch
was
the
awesome.
20th anniversary release of Pirates of the Caribbean, and boy, does that movie still hold
It's
up.
so good.
It's so
We,
good.
we got out of it like, dude, they don't make movies like this anymore.
Yeah.
And that was like 20 years ago.
like that
It's
like
crazy to think that.
I know.
it's like the Mummy with Brendan Fraser, Pirates of the
definitely don't make
Caribbean.
movies
Like
like
they
that.
don't make movies like that anymore. Like they're just like good. Like
That's how I wanted Uncharted
Ernest
to
romps.
be. Like the Uncharted with Spider-Man.
yeah. Which
That's,
I'm
I
positive.
wanted it to be like
The
that
Mummy.
adventure-y, and it wasn't. I was like, oh, it could have been better.
It was too like, oh, we're gonna try to be like a heist movie. It was like, no, like make this like just like a romp, fun adventure. We're gonna globetrot and like whatever. They have part 2 to figure that out. Whatever. But yeah, dude, Pirates.
It's so
Oh man, like.
That's on Disney Plus, definitely. All of them.
But it
like-
was like, but watching it in theaters again, like
It was
just
so cool.
That's probably cool.
It was-
I had a lot
yeah.
of fun.
man, I remember because I
And
was,
the theater we were in, the sound was good, and we're like, oh.
but like
I was,
everything from-
the whole movie, I was just like humming the whole
not just
soundtrack.
not just the
It was so
soundtrack,
good.
but like the cannon fire, the sword clangings, like it was. I damn dude, like I was in high school when this movie came out, and it was like. It was just like having so much fun, and we're just like I was looking at Anthony, and was like, dude,
It was
this is
so
cool.
good.
Like
I got the same feeling that I get whenever they re-release Jurassic Park in theaters and I go watch it. That's the same feeling I got. I'm like, this movie's
like
too good.
We were also there with your wife, and she was just like, "Oh man, this is great." I was like, "Yeah,
And
like
she sees me like tapping to all those beats of every song. I was like,
bum 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 bum." Like just it's so good. Johnny Depp's performance is timeless as Jack Sparrow.
I think one of his best roles.
you got a
I think one of his best.
Academy Award nomination.
Academy
for
Award
that.
nomination for it. His sword fight with Will Turner in the blacksmith shop is so fun.
yes.
like it's just like it's using the environment, and like, it set the template for like the future movies. Like,
Almost
we
as
have to,
good
like,
as
run
the
up
one.
with-
It's not as good as the one in the second movie.
Well, the one in the second movie is out of hand because they're on a spinning mill wheel going down a hill while that guy going, I mito, follow my voice, follow my voice. Dude,
The guy misses
Oh, on the giant
Yeah.
wheel.
the Wheel of Fortune.
The
That's
wheel
name
of,
of the
we
song.
call it, yeah,
It's the name
it's
of
called
the
the
song.
Wheel of
Oh, really?
Fortune.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
yeah,
best song.
And officially
It's the best
Hans
song.
Zimmer did the score for that, so you know it's good.
Yeah, it wasn't Klaus
Klaus Badelt.
Bedelt. It wasn't him this time.
But
I wonder why they
that-
didn't bring him back on for.
because
Hans Zimmer's like, it's
Father
mine.
Zimmer. He's like, I take it back.
You know what?
I got
this franchise is making a lot of money. I'm gonna put my name on it, Mr.
Agreed.
Dune Part 1.
But yeah, go watch Pirates if you haven't. It's 20 years old, and
A
watch all
classic.
the other ones too.
It's,
I mean,
and they're all on. They all should be on Disney.
They're all
They
on
are.
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy
Go on the ride. I don't care.
the
Like
second and third one. I know some people don't, but I think
Oh,
the first
no,
three.
they're legit.
Yeah, I think the first three are
Trilogy.
amazing.
The original trilogy, yes, is much better. It's like
4 is okay, and 5
gets
was
better.
pretty good. But yeah, the first 3 are great. So if you have Disney Plus, hit it up. Speaking of great movies, though, another amazing movie that I watched during this summer that we did not review,
I hate you. I hate you so much.
The Meg 2.
Shut up! It's so bad.
The Meg 2.
Shut up!
Jason Statham can do no wrong. Because he can defeat sharks.
He could kick a shark.
He can defeat sharks and dinosaurs. There's like random dinosaurs in this movie. This movie is something else. The first Meg was a pretty decent monster big shark movie. Like decent. I'm not gonna say
It was fun.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it was good, but like it wasn't offensive. Like it wasn't terrible. It was just like a normally done okay movie. This movie, I don't know what they smoked, but it was some good prehistoric stuff because there's like 2 different movies. The first half is a completely different movie. It's like them going underwater, the trench, because it's called the Meg 2, the trench. They actually go underwater. There's a lot of underwater.
Wasn't the first one in a trench too?
Don't get me
Do they
started.
go to the same trench or a different trench?
I don't know, man, but it's like it's most of the first half they're underwater doing all this. What I'm not even gonna explain what they're doing. And then once they get out of the trench and away from the water, then it's like the second half of the movie, and it turns into the Saturday night terrible sci-fi movies like Sharknado and all that.
SYFY
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
like
like-
sci-fi.
Like Santa Jaws, those type of movies.
The Velocipaster.
No, Velocipaster is better than this.
But like, yeah, like
which we
didn't see it.
even the effects too. Like the effects on some of the things in the second half of the movie look terrible, even though the effects in the first half were pretty good. I don't know what happened in this movie. Jason Statham definitely collected his check. Even though I don't know how much of the check he wanted for this movie, but it was Meg 2 is not a good movie. It was funny because the majority of the time you're laughing at how ridiculous the movie is. Like not even that. It's not even like the Crank movies, another Jason Statham duology, which are supremely over the top and ridiculous, and they're like fun to watch because they're ridiculous. This movie is just bad, and you're just laughing at how bad it is. Like it's so bad it's good. It's just like it's
Bad,
bad.
it's bad.
It's so bad it's bad, and how did they get away with this? Because the acting, the writing, I don't even want to know. Like I want to watch it again with you guys just so you can witness the travesty of the trench.
Well, speaking about so bad it's good, we finally Danny, Zach, and I brought Danny and Zach along with me to watch this. Zach finally got a chance to watch the best so bad it's good movie of all time. Zach,
No, the worst
So
movie.
good,
It's good.
it's just pure art.
It's art. It's pure art. All right.
What
so,
movie are we talking about, Zach?
Well, I kind of want to save it for last, but I guess we'll just get into
No,
it.
we're already talking about movies that are so bad they're good. Like you got to go into it. I gave you the perfect segue, my guy.
The Room.
Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Pure, unadulterated masterpiece of terrible awesomeness.
Why does this movie get so much crap? It's a 10 out of 10. I don't know.
What were your favorite parts of this movie?
All of them.
Everything. The whole movie.
Okay, so for the record, when we watched this movie at our screening, no one knew like the stuff to do. I was the only one like yelling like "Hi, Danny" and like all the like stupid little stuff you're supposed to do when you watch this movie.
Like every time they showed a establishing shot of a bridge, just keep
Or San
going.
Francisco.
Yeah, and
Dude,
a lot of the audience would be going, go, 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 go.
It gets to
It's
the
like
very end, and
like
like,
following the cars that are going on the bridge.
Yeah, like football, or like like just like all little like
The
stupid
best
things.
was them playing football all the time and just like
Random
the three of them
places.
just like so close to each other, just
like
the guy gets tackled or whatever.
On the rooftop.
and Danny just being weird, and the weird subplot of like this drug dealer for no reason. And like, what's this girl's mom that would just show up and be like, "Hey, by the way, I have cancer." And I'm just like, "What the hell is wrong with you?"
Probably the only time that you'll laugh when someone says I have cancer.
It's so ridiculous. And like, okay, no, the best scene of all of cinema is when Johnny goes into, dude, Zach, when Johnny goes to buy flowers. Talk about how perfect of a scene that is.
I really want to pull up that comment you took a screenshot of and send it to us. Where it's like, oh, this scene perfectly encapsulates how like others are just a regular guy walking into a store trying to get something for his girl and stuff. And then he just totally screws it up because the line delivery was terrible. So I wish I could pull it because I don't remember what was said.
The editing and
Oh my
the
God.
writing in that
All right,
scene are
I'm
ridiculous.
gonna give
the voice
I'm gonna give a shout out.
Yeah,
from three.
whatever it's
No,
called.
I found
ADR. Yeah,
So
ADR.
I'm gonna give out a shout out to this YouTube user DL
you
Weiss
found it?
from 3 years ago who says,
Weiss
and I
O?
quote, "No,
Oh, okay.
I feel like this scene perfectly captures what makes the room special. The scene that we're talking about is he goes into a flower shop and he's just like, oh, flowers for my favorite lady. And then the flower lady's like, oh, hi, Johnny, you're my favorite customer. Like, just
hi, Johnny, I didn't know it was you.
I know you're my favorite customer.
I didn't recognize you.
I didn't recognize you. You're my favorite customer. Okay, bye. Oh, hi, doggy. And just like, it's just, and like the dog is just like, what is going on here? So
It's just like everything was done so quickly and he just walked
it
out.
was like
It was like a
12
5-second scene.
I'm just like, why are we here? And it was like, you're my favorite customer. Like the ADR is like spaced out.
Like you just had to say it to finish your line and like
It's like, no, they have to know that I'm the favorite customer. Like,
So-
why?
So DLY says,
Why?
DLY says it's trying to portray a completely ordinary everyday scenario, which is a friendly man picks up some roses for his girlfriend, and yet it somehow manages to get literally everything wrong. The illogical dialogue, the rapid-fire overlapping pace, the flat monotone delivery, the poorly dubbed-in voice for Johnny, the dramatic background music. It breaks storytelling and filmmaking rules so basic and fundamental that we usually don't even think about them. What should have been a quick, unmemorable interaction instead becomes an abrupt plummet into disorientation and madness. Like it's that scene. It truly understands. Oh, that and the reused sex scene like footage, which is just the same stuff over and over with the same stupid music. Like
once the music turned on, you're like, oh, I know where we're going.
I distinctly remember everyone just laughing when every time just the music played.
Yeah.
Just the music would play, and we would all start giggling and laughing. And
I mean, we did see it in a group. I think we were like 8 of us or something.
no, I think it was a few more. I think in total that room maybe had like
that room had like 20 something people.
No,
in
I'm
it.
saying like us, like as a group.
oh, us as a group. Oh, we were like 4 or 5.
I think it was 5 of us, or 5 or 6. 1, 2, 3,
I wasn't.
5.
Oh,
It
'cause
was
you were
5
there.
of us. Yeah.
5 of us. But then there was
Theater as
like
a whole was
15 or
like
20 in
20,
the theater, and everyone was having a great time.
There was
It's always good to watch it in a group.
Yeah.
a row ahead of us to the left that I guess like the one girl knew, like because she had seen the movie.
Yeah.
And the other 2 guys hadn't seen the movie. So I can see their reactions like, what is going on? And they keep trying to ask the girl like
They were
what is-
legitimately confused. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
Like, why did we come to this movie?
It's like
But-
I went to go watch it. Like I'm trying to do all like the fun, stupid stuff. At the same time, I'm getting Danny and Zach's reactions, and Zach's just like a ball of various different emotions of just bewilderment, but also sheer glee and laughter at the fact that hey, this made it to see a big screen. Like, and I'm watching this, and this is I'm delighted into seeing just how much of a beautiful train wreck this is.
Yeah, it was.
It was an experience to say.
And Tommy Wiseau himself was because he's on Instagram, and I had sent a few posts that he had posted that day, like the 20th anniversary, of just him also making fun of the movie, which was great to see.
Which is cool.
But now I would say
I thought he disappeared off the face of the earth, but I guess he's on Instagram.
Oh no, he's still sort of around. But like now you guys can go ahead and watch The Disaster Artist, which is based off of the book that the guy who played Johnny, he wrote the book about the whole production of the film. But the thing is, the movie is like great and just completely like hilariously bonkers. But like
the guy who plays Mark.
Sorry, Mark, not Johnny. I don't know why I said Johnny. Tommy Wiseau played Johnny. Mark was Greg Sestero, and he wrote the book The Disaster Artist, and then the Franco brothers made a movie out of it.
And Greg was actually in the Gables Cinema here a couple days ago.
That's right. Yes,
as they were doing another screening of it.
Really?
I think he comes frequently.
Yeah,
he comes to
that
Miami
theater
frequently.
for that
Does
movie.
he live here in Miami?
No, I think
No.
they just do probably like a
rerun
circuit of maybe every couple of years
Well,
that they
I
re-release
feel like
the movie.
he lives in Florida because there's a YouTuber that we're all familiar with, Holden Hardman. He had Greg on a video, and they live in Pensacola.
Oh, okay.
maybe.
So maybe he lives in Florida somewhere. We just don't know, but I guess that's why he frequents.
But he's like from the San Francisco Bay Area, so it's like it's still its own thing. But yeah, I was legitimately very happy to like have experienced that with you two, because that was a whole lot of fun. Like that was just super ultra silly. But going from silly to the opposite of silly, Anthony, I think I think you just recently saw it, but it came out like during the summer, like at the end of June, on Netflix. Really stone cold action movie that Netflix had been working on for a while to continue.
I think the three of us saw it.
Danny saw it. You saw it. I don't know if Zach has seen it.
No.
Yeah, I just saw it this past weekend. But yeah.
What movie are we talking about, Danny?
Extraction 2.
That's right.
With the best one-shot sequence.
Stitched one-shot sequence of all time.
It's like
it's
20 or 30 minutes.
It's
crazy.
It's a good sequence.
Yeah. It's that whole all right, we're gonna go into a prison, break people out, and then
fight our way through
and escape out.
And then ride a train and
use a Gatling gun to shoot down a helicopter. That's nuts. It was out of hand, dude.
I mean, I really like the first one, so I'm glad that they kind of found a way to make a second one.
Not only make a second one,
but
make it better.
Yeah,
I think
they definitely made it better than the first one.
I remember liking the first one, but I don't really remember any of it.
I remember a lot of a decent amount of shaky cam.
I remember some of the action scenes, but I don't even remember who
they
he
also
was
had
extracting
those
in the movie.
one-shot sequences.
They had the final bridge sequence, I remember, and I also remember the initial scene when he goes and rescues the kid, and
which is that one shot.
These two guys just get murdered in the room. I was like, oh my god, whoever the Russo brothers.
The director is a stunt
coordinator. Yes, so usually stunt coordinators, when they go off and make action movies, they know what's up. Look at John Wick. Chad Stahelski.
But this second one had a good cast, better action sequences, I feel like, and I think overall just a better story.
Idris Elba, dude.
The whole sequence when they have to escape from that high rise that they're in,
at the end. That's the whole end sequence.
Yeah.
Well,
of the movie, right?
Sort of. No,
sort
because
of.
Second to last. But that's the part where they have the fight sequence in that
on the
fancy
glass.
gym and the glass. Dude, the guy on the treadmill double died. There was a lot of what Anthony calls double dying. A guy could probably get stabbed, but then he gets destroyed by
and then falls off a building. He was already dead.
This guy got his leg broken, and then they dropped the leg press on him. I was like, oh, he's dead. He double died for sure.
Some cool innovative
Innovative
kills.
action sequences and kills, and the fight sequence on the breaking glass was also really cool. It added a cool amount of tension. It's Zach, if you like action movies, I would a good 1-2 combo is you watch the first one and you go watch the second one, you're like, oh wait, this is significant. You'll see a major improvement in between part 1 and part 2. And Chris Hemsworth still they still added a chance, both writing and in Chris Hemsworth acting abilities to be able to like add some more depth to Tyler Rake as an action hero.
Sure.
And we have a nice, like Anthony said, a tease as to what a hopeful part 3 would hopefully look like. Because you got Idris
you got a
Elba
setup for it for sure.
talking about his boss, like,
Yeah,
my
who's
boss.
his boss?
He's gonna join the Transformers because it's G.I. Joe. That's what it's gonna be.
No.
No, he's gonna join Ghost Rider because Idris Elba was in that second Ghost Rider movie.
True.
That's right.
True.
And the boss is gonna be Nicolas Cage.
Oh my
Called
God.
it, dude.
Hobbs and Shaw 2 with Idris Elba.
With Idris Elba. No, they're just gonna have a Hobbs movie on his own now because Black Adam did so poorly, and they're like, I need to come back to a franchise. Help. But whatever. He was the better parts of the franchise anyway. He's obviously the better part of the ride. Yeah, I mentioned the Fast and Furious ride. Let's never speak of that ever again.
Back to Extraction.
Back to Extraction.
Go watch
2.
Extraction 2.
It's on Netflix. Give it a watch.
We recommend it.
It's very, very good.
Very well done action for an action movie.
Yeah.
There was another sort of action-y movie that I know Danny got a chance to watch. I haven't seen it yet because it was really, I don't know. Like, I
would say
I'll get to watch it, but
it's a very generic action, kind of like spy movie on Netflix that you would expect. Heart of Stone.
given the talent and that's
And a
attached
good
to it.
cast.
Yeah, the cast is good.
I just think the writing was kind of weak, where it was just very like bland and generic.
So generic Netflix movie.
Dude, but it's got Jamie Dornan from freaking Belfast. No, I'm kidding.
I think he was probably the
50
better
Shades
part
of
of the movie.
50 Shades of Grey. No, Belfast. No,
But yeah, just wasn't impressed by the action. Wasn't impressed by the acting.
it kind of just
Gal
did
Gadot.
everything just kind of
Yeah.
meh. Like
Just-
it's kind of like
It was there.
it was very formulaic, is what I've
Yeah.
been hearing, and but like you saw it, so like that was really your impression on it,
Yeah,
right? It's kind of like
I'd say you could skip it.
And that was their big movie after Extraction 2, right?
Yeah, definitely choose Extraction 2 over it.
Okay.
dang.
Even if
Or-
you didn't see
I
Extraction
did.
1, you could still watch
I did.
Extraction.
He's like, I did. Fair point. Yes,
I never even saw Red Notice. I didn't see that one either.
I did.
I think that one's better.
With
that
The
one's
Rock.
better. That one's
And,
better.
and the Gray Man. They had the Gray
I
Man.
saw the
too.
Gray Man.
That had better drone footage than Amber Lamps.
But like all these this is like the Netflix action movie formula that they're kind of doing.
He just had to find a way, like at least with Heart of Stone, it had to find a way to like make itself stand out a little bit.
And it's weird coming after what was it, Red Notice, because Gal is also
Yeah, she's
Red
also in
Notice.
that.
So it's-
Like there's other streaming services that kind of did like their spin on like the action kind of movie. Like you had what was this movie on Apple TV Plus? It was the one with Chris
Ghosted.
Evans. Yeah, Ghosted. Yeah, like Ghosted's on there. Like that had its own like fun little spin on like a weird like action rom-com thing. But like it's like Netflix like
Gray Man 2.
Yeah, like Netflix will like have their thing with the Gray Man and Extraction, but it's like, hey, with
I
Heart
think
of
they also
Stone,
had like Six Underground with Ryan Reynolds.
That
was, like,
movie's
the,
great.
The first
Michael
one.
Bay.
that movie, yeah, Michael Bay directed. That movie is great for one reason
Never saw
only.
it. Never saw it.
If I'm saying the movie is great for a particular reason, I think Anthony understands what I'm talking
Is Dave
about.
Franco in the movie?
Possibly.
All right then.
Yep, you already know. What was the other movie? The one with the Immortals with Charlize Theron that was also on Netflix.
Oh, The Old Guard.
The Old Guard. That was
That one
actually
was cool,
fun.
though.
Yeah.
Because that one wasn't just straight up like an action movie.
No, like it had some interesting
cool backstory.
mythology to it, and like again, solid acting carrying the, and Chiwetel Ejiofor's in it too. And
Glass
yeah,
Onion is a Netflix movie as well.
True.
Yeah,
So-
so like they can do it. I think it's like
One out of every 50?
Couple.
one out of every like 5 is
You got a
like
good
might
one?
be a dud.
No,
So-
there's more than 5.
Well-
We mentioned Heart of Stone after Extraction, but I'm almost certain there was like 30 movies that came out between
Right after
that none of us even know about
Yeah.
because they come out with a lot of stuff that
Yeah.
they don't even advertise.
And then I'll go real quick rapid fire on some of the other ones that I've seen, just
Yep.
because all the ones Anthony mentioned.
We'll end it on a
Pretty much
spooky
most of them
note.
I've
Yeah, because we basically ended on a spooky note, Danny.
But I saw also Haunted Mansion.
I like that one. I
Which
liked it a lot.
Zach also saw as well.
Yeah.
It had nice callbacks to both rides from Disneyland and Disney World. Good cast. Actually, a really fun cast. They were able to kind of do a lot.
They should have released it in October.
They really should have.
But
I think it would
Big
have
mistake.
They did it so that now it releases on Disney Plus before Halloween.
Dude,
but they
yeah,
should
but
have
They should have put it in October to make
spent the money on it.
Way to not get
And
money that
it
way.
would have it would have probably looked better because of everything with the strike going on. They wouldn't have to like do this weird. We're gonna promote it by using people in a Disney costume.
Yeah, they couldn't
In a
really
Mickey
promote
costume.
it.
They really couldn't.
But it came out in the middle of like these summer
Barbenheimer.
blockbusters,
Yeah,
which
they really
didn't
came
really
out.
fit in.
yeah, like as a spooky movie in the middle of July.
I don't know who was in charge of that, but they spent way too much money on it.
It's the same person who did whatever marketing for John Carter.
Oh, God.
That person needs
It
to be
was
fired.
$150 million. I don't know why. And if you needed to make money back, then you don't shove it in the middle of a stacked summer.
Yeah, put it in October.
It should have been even the end of September, before October. It could have been the end of September, starting the
Like
Halloween
when
season.
Expendables 4 comes out, you can put Expendables 4. Oh wait, here's Haunted Mansion as
There
a
you
fun like family scary comedies thing.
Definitely going to watch Expendables 4.
because like the
Jason Statham.
but like I enjoyed the Haunted Mansion for what it was. Like it actually had a coherent story. Like there was stuff going on. It made more sense than the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion, that's for sure. But you know, like that was like a weird like, hey, we're gonna release some horror movies in the middle of the summer.
Well,
so you had Haunted
there's
Mansion.
multiple because the other two that I ended up watching was The Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is like a Dracula.
It's basically it takes place in the middle of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yeah.
Which I say it did have some cool moments, like cool kills and like a cool atmosphere. Like the Dracula actually looked really, really cool, but the story was kind of weak on it.
Well, yeah, because it's based off of like a weird chapter in the movie. It's like one chapter in the entire like book.
But if you're a fan of Dracula, I'd definitely say check it out. The ending does leave things open, so I'm curious if they're actually going to do something else.
It leaves it open to watch Bram Stoker's Dracula with
I doubt there's gonna be
Winona
something.
Ryder and what's this guy's
I don't
Keanu
even know
Reeves?
how much
no,
it
Keanu
made.
Reeves? No, the other guy, the one who actually has an Oscar.
Oh, okay.
Gary Oldman.
Mm.
Yeah, Gary Oldman playing Dracula. It's really freaking good.
He was good.
I don't know how much it actually made, so I don't think it actually
didn't make
No, it
anything.
didn't.
too good.
Yeah.
But the one that did do good and already got a sequel confirmed is Talk to Me.
Yep, it's on my to-do list to watch. I'm saving it for
Definitely watch
spooky
it
season.
on Halloween.
Yep, watching it for spooky season.
For me, this is definitely my favorite horror movie of the year.
Cool.
Loved the story. Had some cool like horror aspects and like
It's made by YouTubers.
yeah,
Very, very independent, low budget.
and it definitely made its money.
They made more. That's why they greenlit a sequel, because it made a lot of money.
But it was a
for what it was.
It was a very cool concept, and they had some cool sequences.
Yeah, like everybody talks about the concept or the idea of the movie, and like I've done a pretty decent job of keeping away from spoilers about what it's about. So like I'm gonna go in there pretty fresh to see like,
sure.
hey, you know,
And
what?
the
We're gonna have some
ending,
fun.
great ending. Yeah, definitely a great one.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, I may have to check that one out.
And then Anthony, I think the only one you were missing is
Well, you saw Sound of Freedom,
oh yes, I also saw Sound of Freedom.
which I wanted to see, but it's not.
that was like
theaters anymore.
June.
Yeah,
early June?
maybe early June.
And this took the whole like theaters by storm. Like
Yeah.
everyone went to go. Oh, it was 4th of July. That's when
It came out on the 4th of July. That's
Yeah.
correct. Yes.
Very intense movie, I'll say. Very
4th of July or Memorial? Because Memorial's at the end of May.
No, it's 4th of July.
No, it was 4th of July.
4th of July. I remember
Yeah.
it being 4th of July.
Well, because you saw it on the same day that we went to go see another movie.
Because it was in
Yeah.
theaters for a while.
Well, I think it was only going to come out for like a little bit, but then it got so popular.
It was going to be
they
one
kept-
of those 2 to 3 week
Yeah.
things and out of the theater, and then it stayed on for 2 months or so.
Yeah, and then now there's like a streaming war trying to like get the movie.
Or to not get it. There's streaming services
Or that
that
too.
don't want
that don't want it.
don't
Yeah.
want to have
Why
it.
would they want to have it?
There's
It was
there's
a
drama.
very-
It was weird.
There's a lot of drama behind the
there's-
scenes, which we won't get into.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about the people who it's made based off of and their actual involvement in things. But yeah, but point is, it made some type of cultural impact that people went to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, so
I thought it was
that's
a
the
good
thing.
movie. Like movie itself, drama aside, it was a good movie. Definitely had some emotional moments, especially towards the end. But I'd say go watch it if you want to check it out.
Randomly, I was doing the math, but talk to me. It made 14.8 times its budget back.
There you go.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Just make a horror movie, a good horror movie
On
on a low budget.
super low budget.
Yeah.
Just use your
Like,
iPhone,
I was
shoot it
here.
in your house.
So like the only other horror movie that like has come out so far before like September, I believe, was Evil Dead Rise, which
I think that one also made money too.
Oh, it made a
And-
crap ton of money.
And now, just recently, which we're not including in this, but The Nun 2,
Yeah, that just came out. And
it made 80 million already opening weekend.
Yeah.
And its budget was like 20 million.
I think so. Evil Dead Rise, I think, made like 12 times its budget for it being stuff like. But I enjoyed that one because of this, like the homages to the Evil Dead.
That was a movie that they were just going to slap on HBO Max.
Evil
And then-
Dead Rise.
Yeah,
And
and
they
then
turned
David
it into a
Zaslav was like,
theatrical.
no, we're releasing this in theaters.
He knew. Say what you will about David Zaslav, but he was like,
knows. He's like,
he knows, like, hey, this movie's good.
Yeah.
he canceled Batgirl, but he kept that one.
kept
He's
that one at least.
We're keeping this.
And then we got one last movie that Anthony saw.
Yes, this is teetering on the end of summer, the beginning of fall, because it came out on September 1st. But I saw Extraction 3. Not Extraction. Equalizer 3.
He came from the future.
Equalizer.
We're talking about
Guys,
Antoine-
Extraction 3 is a 3-hour-long movie. It's so good.
He's talking about Antoine Fuqua, star of
Denzel
a film starring
Washington.
Denzel Washington. What he would call Bonesaw the movie, Part 3.
Pretty much. This movie, so very much enjoyed the first two Equalizer movies. It's Denzel whooping on fools because they deserve it.
Whooping on mafia fools.
Well, that's what this one's about.
Yeah.
But in the other ones, it's him whooping on fools in a usually a gruesome way, and it's awesome. This movie, they definitely upped the goriness, the intensity.
What do you mean by gory?
It's the other ones are violent with some gore.
like
but
gore
it's just
as in,
a
like there's
violent-
guts and stuff?
Yes, like
What
it's
the hell?
gore, like blood. Like there's severed heads, limbs, and blood everywhere. Like this movie is like a more of like a horror movie. It's pretty crazy. Like imagine if Denzel was like
Jason
Freddy
Killer.
or not Freddy, but like Jason or Michael Myers, but like the good guy cutting up all these mafia people and bad guys. It's pretty crazy because the music is more intense, the scenes are more intense. Like this movie is more like slow and methodical than the other two. Like builds up the story, and it has like maybe a couple like really strong like long moments of him doing the ass whooping. But yeah,
whooping of ass.
it's as if Batman became like a extreme like really rated R movie, and Batman says I don't care anymore, and he just like there are scenes where he comes
He
out
just murders
out of
fools,
the
right?
shadows and gets people. It's like I did that in the Batman games. Like he's Batman in this movie. But yeah, it was really good. Highly recommend it. Equalizer 3, get equalized. There's a reunion from Man on Fire, also an
That's
excellent
right.
With Dakota Fanning.
Dakota Fanning, another excellent
Different character though, right?
yeah.
She plays a different character.
another excellent Denzel Washington movie. That's also another one of his.
Forgiveness
More-
what was the line? Forgiveness is between you and God. I'm just here to set up
Yeah,
the
it's
meeting.
another one of his kind of like late. Well, that movie's like almost like 20 years old.
2000, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that movie's pretty old, but that was like I think the
That was
start
good.
of kind of like his Liam Neeson era of him
Yeah.
doing like
Those
this
type of movies.
this operative that can just whoop fools. But yeah, these Equalizer movies have been very cool. Antoine Fuqua keeps showing that he's very good director. Maybe he might end up doing they can get him to do a Marvel movie. I don't know, but he's been pulling out a lot of cool movies. He did Training Day. I mean, and that gave Denzel his Oscar. So Denzel's been in a lot of movies with him. He did A Magnificent Seven, came out a few years ago.
Hey, that was great.
Yeah,
that's
it was
with
fun.
Chris Pratt
Yeah, it was
and
fun.
Ethan Hawke.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
What's his name? What is it? William Lee? No, Byung Lee. That's a whole the remake of Magnificent Seven is actually pretty dang good. Matt Bomer's in it for a little bit. That movie's good. But Antoine Fuqua can make some good stuff.
Yeah,
But Man on Fire
is
turns 20 years old tomorrow. Tomorrow. No, next year it turns 20 years old.
So my back will hurt next year. Again. Dakota Fanning was like so little in that movie.
Oh no. Yeah, it's freaking me out. Anyway. Like Antoine Fuqua said, it's kind of like a weird a spiritual sequel, even though it's not really there.
Yeah, but very good movie. Equalizer 3, highly recommend it if you're fine with a lot of violence. Yeah,
Violence.
gore and violence. It's
Stop all the senseless violence.
yeah, it's not for the lighthearted.
All right, and then now we'll go ahead
Watch it.
before we wrap it up. We're each gonna just say which was our favorite from the list that we just gave, real quick. So Anthony,
You go
Oh,
first.
damn, I'm first. So
Yeah.
I'm obviously excluding Pirates because that would have been my
Okay,
favorite.
yeah.
Pirates,
But
yeah.
it's a 20-year-old movie, so I can't really say Pirates. It's tough because I probably normally would have said Transformers because Beast Wars was my jam, like my era of Transformers. Whereas my older brother, he had like the original G1 Transformers when he was younger. So I wanted this to be really cool. I felt like the Beast Wars part of it was okay. I felt like they could have done more. So it was a pretty good movie, but it's not my favorite of this bunch that we saw. I would say it's a toss-up between maybe TMNT and Elemental, and both animated movies.
Yeah.
And Equalizer also, but TMNT. When I remember seeing the trailers of it, and at first, the first trailer to me just looked like, oh, they're just copying Spider-Verse. I don't know, the voices sound kind of weird. I don't think the first trailer was done very well. But no, I was very surprised. I liked it a lot. It was a lot more fun than I thought it would be. And same with Elemental. Elemental, the advertising was terrible. I don't know who did the advertising.
John Carter's.
It was
marketing.
terrible. The marketing for the movie was really bad.
It was a lot better.
They were making it look like it was just like
Opposites attract.
Yeah, opposites attract and a love story. It's like that's part of the movie, but that's
it's not
not
the
what
whole
it's
thing.
about. And it's just like they should have marketed it the way, or like shown what the movie's about. And it's very inventive and a lot better than a lot of people thought it would be. But I think I'm gonna go with TMNT. Yeah,
Okay.
Mutant Mayhem was really fun. Ice Cube was awesome.
6 in the
Donatello's
morning.
voice. Donatello's voice got on my nerves a little bit.
No, I think it was perfect.
The high pitchedness, but other than that, other than that, it was very fun movie.
I'm gonna save the discussion point. My favorite that we discussed so far was also TMNT.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about the movie came together so well. I loved everything about it. We didn't even talk about
It's an hour and a half, super quick movie.
Yeah.
we didn't talk about the 4-in-1 fight sequence to No Diggity.
That sequence was
That
awesome.
sequence is awesome.
So cool.
Every turtle had their own chance to shine, in that fight sequence when they're taking out the weird mob dudes to try to get to Superfly. Also, they got Ice Cube saying 6 in the morning, police at my door, when they're at the fan, and then the fact that when he mentioned hey. If you get in my way, I'm gonna mollywop you. And then he starts mollywopping Donnie. He's like, he's mollywopping me. That was I was
Just the line delivery and the lines itself in this movie.
no, he's
Hilarious.
mollywopping me. It's this is great. That movie's awesome. That's the low key summer hit. Go and watch for sure. Is TMNT.
My vote would have been Spider-Verse, but we reviewed it.
We
Yeah,
reviewed
so-
it. Crazy. Yeah. Zach, what do you got?
I think I know Zach's.
Gladiator.
So for me, I feel like it's a pretty easy and straightforward one because it really surprised me when I watched. I was like, okay, all right, this is what we got, or this is what I'm experiencing. So The Room is definitely
Yes.
Joking aside, like The Room, I did enjoy it a lot for what it was, but I'm on the same boat as Anthony.
No, dude, pick The Room.
No,
Pick The Room.
I'm not gonna pick The Room.
Then I'm switching mine to the Meg. All right, so I'm
not gonna agree with you.
The Room is 20 years old. It's like Pirates. It came out the same year as Pirates. It's 20 years old.
Yeah, what a contrast.
Hey, do you want to laugh for 2 hours? Go watch the Meg too.
Is it really a 2-hour long movie?
See, the difference is the Meg, you're laughing
At it.
at it. The Room, you're laughing with it.
Yes, and at it.
No, you're laughing at it.
But it's good.
No, you're laughing at it more.
Yeah.
That's what it is. You're laughing at it more. Dude, The Meg is almost a 2-hour long movie. Why? Anyway.
So yours is TMNT.
Officially TMNT, but The Room was just a lot of fun.
It was just
Nice.
a lot of fun. All right, nice. Danny,
All right.
who's going to be the outlier? I
For
hope.
me, I am the outlier.
Nice, dude.
Although
You got it.
TMNT, definitely top movie. But for sure, my favorite is Talk to Me.
Yep.
I know it. Doing a little hand thing.
I think I'm
Yeah.
like the resident horror guy here.
I guess you are. Like last year, I became almost
you
a
were,
pseudo guy.
yeah. You saw more horror movies
I
than me
was
last
watching
year.
Barbarian, Black Phone. I was like,
Both
man, I'm
were
watching
great.
more. Yeah, so
Oh,
both are really
beast.
I think Megan also. No,
That was this
no,
year. That was like January of this year.
good. Was it?
M3 again, yeah.
And again?
But yeah, I'll say Talk
was
to
this
Me
year.
was my favorite of the year. Sorry, favorite of the summer.
No, Megan was 2022, according to IMDb. The official. Let's see. Let's
Look
see.
at release date. I think it came
According-
out January. It
According
might have been made in 2022.
Oh, yeah, he's right. January 6th.
Probably had like
There you
an
go.
early release, like December something, and then.
Nah, but official release is January 6th, so we give it to it. 2023.
But yeah, Talk to Me, for sure.
All right,
I will.
cool, man. We'll continue hopefully with this. Yeah, that's why we keep doing that to you, Danny. No, awesome. Yeah, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a pretty wild and busy summer. Again, there was a lot. There were things that you didn't get a chance to watch, and you're listening to this. We gave you some extra ones to kind of play around with. If you're ever bored and decide, damn, I need to watch something.
Some of them
Meg
you can
too.
watch on streaming already because they've already come out.
Some you may have to rent, but they will be worth it because, as we've mentioned on the popcorn watch list, they're worth it. Make it happen. And others, you may have to like get some like weird Criterion collections of stuff, like The Room or something else like that.
Real quick, one movie I missed that I didn't get to mention that I don't think any of you guys saw was Past Lives.
Oh, that's
Uh,
right. Prestige drama.
Yes, very,
That came out
very
in June,
good.
right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, very good drama. It was definitely a movie that feels super real. Like could definitely happen to anybody, or very emotional.
Look forward to it when they re-release movies when they do award season.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be nominated.
Almost positive it's going to come back around and it'll be on like their whole signature series or whatever it is in these theaters.
But this one definitely makes you kind of think a bit, and I was definitely
Think
thinking about the
how?
movie.
Think about your life.
Yeah, like think about your life, or like kind of go back to different things you've done.
I don't know, dude. I'm working through some trauma. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. All right. Okay.
But yeah, you'll definitely get emotional on this one.
Interesting.
Cool.
Very cool, man. Yeah.
This will. I'm pretty sure we'll get back to this one if it does end up being nominated, which I'm sure it will. We'll all revisit this one.
I'll make it a point to watch it for sure.
But yeah, so that wraps it up.
That does indeed wrap it up. Put a little bow on it. Last popcorn kernel of the summer has been eaten. So what we'll do is we want to go to next time. We may go up to we're going back to probably not probably, but for sure we're going back to our recommendation list. We're going some movies. Then afterwards we're gonna try to inject some TV love into it because usually the fall is when a lot of big TV premieres, whether it's on network TV or streaming TV.
We're gonna be discussing Ahsoka once that's over.
Once it's over, for sure. Me, the Star Wars geek in here, I'm about to go ham on this. But I'll have backup because Anthony watched Rebels. He knows what's up. But next time, I'm going to give some little homework for these young kids here on this podcast. I haven't seen this movie. It's something that I kind of been wanting to kind of start for a while in terms of an appreciation list for this particular actor who has been recently appointed the Chief Action Officer on Netflix. But funny enough, we got to go ahead and watch this movie on, I think, currently on Max. You may have to watch it on Max. It's on like their AMC Plus collection.
On where?
On the one to watch for HBO.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
Because I don't know what Max is.
Exactly. So this is going to be for Danny and Zach, but also, again, to rewatch because I love the soundtrack for this movie.
Kindergarten Cop. No, I'm kidding.
Nope.
I'm kidding.
Terminator.
Terminator.
We're going
knew
straight into Terminator.
One,
All
right?
right.
The first Terminator, yes.
We'll be back.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth, Danny. But yes, we will be back next week with a recap, primarily hosted by these two, with their first impressions of Terminator, and kind of really seeing just what Arnold did. It's not a super long movie. It's an hour and 47 minutes, but it's a pretty seminal piece of cinema that really puts James Cameron on the map and really kind of made Arnold Schwarzenegger like the big deal he was. You thought I was going to say Conan the Barbarian, but psych, it is Terminator.
Really quickly before we leave, this weekend they're re-releasing the Nolan Batman trilogy in some theaters. So if you're interested in rewatching or watching for the first time any of those excellent movies, look at your local Cineplex. Do people say that anymore? To see where it's showing, because
Multiplex.
those movies are awesome. We're gonna go see
Multiplex.
Dark Knight this weekend. So
It is the
Do it.
multiplex. Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see that as a fun little nostalgia piece too. Rest in peace, Heath Ledger. But yeah, I'm gonna be excited for that, and we'll get next week with these kids' full impressions on the Terminator. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. If once again, as you're listening, please give us a like and subscribe and review on your podcast platform of choice. You can also reach out, say what's up, and give your insights on the episode that you watched on not both, but on all of our social media platforms, such as X, the platform normally known as Twitter. You have Instagram, YouTube, and on Threads, which is a subsidy of Instagram. But please go ahead, keep us engaged. We love interacting with the community that we've built so far, and we hope to continue grow. Thank you so much, everybody. Until next time.
Later.
Oh, bye, Mark.
nice. Right.